Hello, my name is Peter Simpson. I'm a psychologist and the Managing Director of BSS. This is one of a series of short videos dealing with the COVID-19 crisis. This video is aimed at supervisors. It is to help you help your remote team work more effectively. First, it's important to foster the communication and trust necessary between team members. Good communication and trust typically is built on understanding each other. Remote working, however, reduces our ability to do that. Why? Informal interaction is the basis of getting to know people. So in the office, you chat over a coffee. You talk about what people did on the weekend. You hear about their family. And that builds up a big picture of that person in your mind. It gives us social clues that allow us to understand people's reaction. So for example, if you're working closely with a person, you know that when you say something, they may take 10 or 15 seconds to respond. When you're not working closely, where it's remote working, you won't know how to interpret that particular behaviour. Another important issue is that people feel psychologically distant, not because of physical distance, but rather the amount of time it takes to get answers from people. People feel close when your communication is reliable and predictable, not necessarily fast. As a leader, it's your job to coordinate the team. There are three critical things that you should focus on. Number one, what are the normal working hours for the team? When will the workday begin? When will it end? It's important that people know when you're available. It's important they know when they can contact their colleagues. Number two, decide how long it will take to get back to each other. Should you expect people to respond immediately, within an hour, within a day? Will this be different for different types of communication? For example, is it okay to respond to internal emails by the end of the business day? What about telephone calls? Does that mean it's more urgent and that you should respond as soon as possible? Clarifying those issues will give your team members certainty and predictability. Item three, how will people notify each other when they may be unavailable or may be unable to meet other people's expectations? Should team members just let the boss know? Should they send a team email? Should you use a shared calendar? The answers to these questions will depend upon a variety of factors, such as how many people are involved in an issue, the size of your team, and so on. But if you sort out these three key issues, then people will have a clear expectation of how the team operates and what they can expect. Set up a schedule for communication. Firstly, weekly one-on-one meetings with your direct reports, typically about 30 minutes. The aim is to continue to build your relationship with the person, ask questions, give ideas, review progress. Weekly team meetings. These need to be about 30 to 60 minutes in length, and they're to provide an opportunity for everyone to share in the weekly priorities, obtain information, provide their point of view, and so on. End of day check-ins. So team members share a list of things that they've completed that day. Again, just provides feedback, lets people know, and alerts them to where there may be problems coming up for the following day. Adapt the style of meetings. Understand that phone and video meetings are less effective than face-to-face meetings, and there's a variety of reasons for that. Team members are less familiar with each other due to less informal socialising. It's often difficult to hear, to participate, especially for people who are less confident. There are fewer non-verbal clues to help interpret group and interpersonal issues. Change the pace. Avoid rushing through the agenda. In face-to-face meetings, it's obvious when people are confused or not in agreement or need further explanation. Much harder to tell those things when you're on a telephone or a video conference. So provide everyone with a chance to participate. Before you move on from an item, ask, does anyone have any questions? anything that you want to add in, anything that needs to be explained. Provide lots of opportunities to have things repeated or clarified. Make sure the meetings are minuted and distributed so people have a record. There's another reminder of what's important or what they may not have understood. Follow up individual concerns with a personal phone call so that people have an opportunity in private to clarify things or even to disagree with things. It's even more important when you're working remotely to set clear goals, tasks and deadlines. A lack of clarity about what a person needs to do reduces engagement, motivation and increases their sense of isolation. Team members must know exactly what they're expected to achieve over the coming week, month or quarter. Use catch-ups to agree on things like tasks to be undertaken, what their KPIs are and the short and long-term milestones. Document these, check regularly on progress. It's important also to recognise team members' efforts. Again, in an office situation, it's easy to walk past and go, hey, great job. Yep. Those opportunities aren't available when you're working remotely. So remote teams often don't get the informal recognition and feedback as in the office. Regularly recognise team members' contribution in team meetings and by email. Recognition will help them feel like their efforts are acknowledged and that they're part of the team. Lastly, don't wait for something big to happen. Recognise small steps and progress. As in every situation, it's important that you know your team members. Good leaders should individualise their approach to leadership and no more so than when their team is working remotely. Take time to understand what motivates and challenges each team member. Understand who on your team might have an easier or harder time working from home. So people who are task-orientated, less social if you like, are probably going to adapt the most easily. People who have a high need for social contact may miss that. And lastly, less experienced team members may struggle for the lack of structure and the less frequent opportunity to informally check with other people. During the COVID-19 crisis, supervisor support is available through your EAP provider. If you are in WA, South Australia or Victoria, contact BSS Employee Assistance on 1800 30 30 90. If you're in Queensland or New South Wales, contact Griffin Psychology on 1800 056 076. Support is available 24/7 by phone and video. Thank you.